This call is now being recorded.
Okay, good morning, students. Let me start the fifth unit. Okay, so today first let us see the syllabus of your fifth unit. Okay, so this is your syllabus of your fifth unit. So in your fifth unit, you are going to study email security, IP security, web security. Okay. So in your previous classes, okay, that is your first two, second, third, fourth unit, you might have studied various different algorithms, how we can send your information from source to destination in a secured manner using encryption and decryption algorithm, isn't it? So here you're going to see that how we can apply this algorithm, okay, where we are going to use these type of algorithms, okay, so that you are going to study in your fifth unit. So here you are going to study email security, IP security, web security, and general system security. What are the different firewalls and viruses, okay, you come across? So all those topics you are going to study in your fifth unit. So in your fifth unit, it's fully theory part, okay. Just you are going to see related to real time application, that's all, okay. It's a very simple and very interesting and very easy. Please listen, okay. So and today we are going to discuss about first topic, that is the email security. Okay, in that we are going to discuss about the first technique, PGP. Okay, so under this email security, you have to study about PGP and SMIME. Okay, so under this today I'm going to discuss about PGP. Let's see what is my email security first, and let's move on to your PGP. Okay, so first one, email security. Why security is needed for our email? Okay, so initially what happens before the introduction of an email? Okay, so if you want to communicate to any person, means what the early stages we do means, so first you will write a letter. Okay, we need a postman, isn't it? Through the postman only we will send the letter. Through this postman, the postman will take the letter from the post office and he will deliver the letter to the concerned person. So how will you know that the letter is in a secured, that is, it is a protected, and no one studied your messages, okay? No one knows about your message which is written in your letter, means how you know about all this information? So by seeing the letter, if the letter is unopened, okay, if it is in a stick to one, means then you can say that your letter is in a safer stage, okay, and the content is not read by any other one rather than you, okay. So this is how you can say that your message is in a secured one, okay. So when we come across the electronic mail, which we introduced about around 1993, so here email is nothing but your electronic mail, which is used to send an information mail from your source to destination. It's just like a letter, okay. So what are the security issues we come across in an email means? So even though the email is faster and cheaper than that of your postal mail, so here you can see say that it is not more secured than that of your postal mail, because it is by manually you can see that if it is not open, okay, if it is opened or not, or if it is read by someone or not, because it is a closed one, and if they are not opened means, then you can say that it is the securely it reaches to you, okay. So you can say that your letter is safe. But in the case of an email, how will you know that whether someone read your informations or not, okay? So that is the issues faced by your email. Therefore, what you have to do means you have to provide security for this email. So that you are going to study in today's class. To provide your security, you have a secure transmission of mail. You have a two techniques, okay? One is the PGP technique, other one is MIME technique, okay? So first one is PGP. PGP means pretty good privacy. Okay, so pretty good privacy. So using this technique, you can ensure that your mail is in a safer mode. Okay, while sending and while receiving also, you are going to apply certain algorithms, and after receiving that, you can say that your content is in a safer mode. Let's see what happens in your pretty good privacy. At the end of this explanation, I will show you demo how this PGP tool works actually. Okay, so please don't miss the theory part. Okay, because at the end you'll be seeing the demo class of this pretty good privacy. I want you people to listen the theory part. Okay, so let's see the some of the explanation of a pretty good privacy or overview of a pretty good privacy. So pretty good privacy is a technique which is used in email, that is used to email security. Okay, for that purpose you are going to use a PGP, and this is developed by Phil Zimmerman. Okay, so he only developed this PGP technique, because before introduction of this technique, what happens, you can't say that ensure that whether your mail is a secured one. Okay, so he only developed this PGP. So after introducing this one, you can say that this is in a secured mode. Okay, and next one, here they used several crypto algorithms are used over in a PGP, and you can use this PGP in Unix, Mac, on any systems. You can apply this techniques. Okay, originally this one is for free. Now for commercial purpose, you have to pay some amount for this PGP. Okay, so this is a small introduction about this pretty good privacy. Okay, so next one, let us see what are the services which are provided by PGP. So now you just think about this one. What are the services you required if I want to send an email from source to destination? So definitely I should know that whether it is coming from a secured person, and whether I am sending the email to only the authorized person. Receiver is an authorized one and sender is an authorized one. So that I have to see, isn't it? So that service will be provided by your PGP. So first service is that authentication. Authentication is nothing but you have to ensure that your email is coming from an authorized person only, and you are sending your mail to only the authorized person only. Okay, that is sender and receiver should be a authorized one. So that service you have to that is you need that service. Okay, so that will be provided by PGP. So next one is your confidentiality. So confidentiality means it means that even though your sender is also an authorized one, receiver also is also authorized one. So you're okay with that one, but let us consider middle, someone tries to open your message and he reads the content, means then what happens? Then there exists a problem, isn't it? So you have to ensure that your message is confidentially, that is reaching to you. Okay, you have to ensure that one. So that service should be provided by PGP. So your message should be confidential. Next one, compression. So why you have to use this compression means while sending from source to destination, when your message is too long means, then what happens means when you're doing encryption and decryption means it may take some time to do this process, and delay may happen. Okay, what we don't need that one, isn't it? Because if I send some message mail means immediately I should reach that message. Okay, so that we expect. So you have to, so that service is also required by your PGP. Next one is email compatibility. So email compatibility means actually when you are doing encryption or decryption means it will be in the form of a binary form. Okay, so all the text messages or encrypted messages will be in the form of a binary form. But in the case of an email, if I want to open that one should be in a readable form, that is the ASCII, that is a text form, isn't it? So in order to convert that one, I'm going to use this email compatibility. So all these four services should be provided by your PGP. Okay, remember this one. Authentication means you have to ensure that you are getting the message from only the authorized person and you are sending the information to only the authorized person. How you can do this one? How you can achieve this one? So how you will say that by opening that letter, I am getting the letter only from the authorized person. How will you say that one? By seeing the signature at the end, isn't it? So if you get the handwriting or if you get the signature of your friend, okay, if you say that okay, this belongs to my friend's handwriting, means then you can say that the letter you got only from your authorized person, isn't it? Similarly, in your PGP also, it provides the info, that is your it provides the authentication by providing the signature, digital signature. Let's see how it do that one. Okay, so second one is confidentiality. Means, so confidentiality, you have to lock the messages, isn't it? So you have to lock your message at your while you're sending, and you have to unlock your message only at the time of your receiving. So you have to do this lock and unlock using some secret key. So that has to be followed in your confidentiality. And see next slides what happens in your compression and email compatibility. Yes, Connie, can you follow this one till this one? Yes, say yes or no. I want answer from you, ma. I want to know whether you are listening or not. Yes, or listening? Yes, can you follow? Yes. Shall I proceed, ma? Yes, okay. Thank you, ma. Thank you. Okay, so next let us see what are the, I hope you follow, what do you mean by this survey, what are the services provided by PGP? Okay, so what are the services? Authentication, confidentiality, compression, and email compatibility, isn't it? Now we are going to see what are the terms that are used in your PGP. Okay, first, if you know these terms only while I'm explaining the block diagram, it will be easy you to understand. Okay, so these are the some of the terms which are used. Okay, KS. Okay, KS is nothing but your secret key. Okay, that is sent from your source and destination. Source and destination will be using the secret key or session key. So here we call it as a symmetric encryption. So what do you mean symmetric encryption? When you are using a same key both in your source and destination, then I can say that is a symmetric key, isn't it? So your KS is nothing but your symmetric key. Okay, so next one is PRA. Okay, so PR is nothing but your private key. Suffix A is nothing but your username. Okay, so if it is A, means it is a private key of user A. Next one is PU, means it is a public key of user A. PR means private key, PU means public key, and EP is nothing but your public key encryption. So E is for encryption and D is for decryption. Okay, and ECDC means it is for your encryption convolution and decryption convolution. So convolution follows your symmetric encryption. So symmetric encryption means both the source and destinations will use the same key. Okay, always you remember that symmetric means both source and destination will follow the same key. Okay, what are the key which is used in your source? The same key will be used in your destination. Okay, so convolution is nothing but your symmetric encryption. Therefore, we are going to mention it as EC and DC. E means encryption and D means decryption. Okay, so next one is H. Okay, so H is nothing but your hash function, and this symbol denotes the concatenation. Concatenation means you are adding two process. Okay, so Z is a compression technique you are going to use, and R64. So this is a conversion technique which is used to convert your binary bit into a ASCII value or ASCII value into a binary bit. I am going to use a R64. Okay, so why we have to use this one means both this encryption and decryption you will be using only the binary data. But at the end of your email, okay, how you can open that one? You want to see only the text messages. You don't want to see the binary data, zeros or ones, isn't it? So in order to convert that one, I'm going to use the conversion technique, that is R64. Okay, so these are the terms which is used in your PGP. Okay, so remember these terms. Okay, next let us go for it. What are the services provided? First one is authentication. Second one is confidentiality, compression, and email compatibility, isn't it? So first let us go for your authentication. So what do you mean authentication? You have to ensure that you are getting the message only from your authorized person. Okay, so how you can say that this is only from your authorized person? When you by manually, by seeing the handwriting or signature, you can say, isn't it? But in the case of a digital form, how you can say that one? You can't write something like in your mail, isn't it? So how you can ensure that one means, then you have to go for a digital signature. Okay, so digital signature can be attained by using a algorithm like SHA or hash algorithm. Okay, you might have studied this one in your 4th unit. So this is the this is the security which is used in your email. So I'll explain this one. So first one, so this part is for your sender side. Okay, so this is for your authentication. This part is for your sender side, and this part is for your receiver side. First, the sender sends the messages, "Hello everyone." Okay, so that should be converted into a hash code. Okay, so because this hash code is nothing but your like digital signature of your sender side. So this is the digital signature of your sender. So it is added with your given message. So you are adding your message with your digital signature, and you are giving that one to your encrypted algorithm in order to send your information in a secured manner. You are sending this one. So what happens? You are getting your messages in a encrypted, that is your message it will be in a encrypted form, that is unreadable format. Okay, so this is the part of your that is your source side. Okay, so sender side, this part you are going to do. Can you follow this one? So your source sending the messages, that messages will be your encrypted, that is your added with your digital signature using a hash code. Okay, so hash code is used to generate a digital signature. You got the digital signature, then using a RSA algorithm. Okay, you might have studied this RSA algorithm in your 3rd unit, isn't it? Using this RSA algorithm, you have encrypted the messages with your digital signature, then you will be getting a encrypted message. Then after that, what you have to do? The encrypted message, you have to decrypt that one. Then only you can see the messages, isn't it? So for that one, you are going to do this one. So you are going to decrypt the message. When you decrypt the message, what happens means you will get separate message separately, and you will get the signature separately. Finally, you have to compare your signature and the that is your received signature or equal. So this is the signature which is already there in your receiver side. Okay, and this is the signature you got from your that is after doing your decryption. Okay, so you have to compare this one. So by comparing, what happens? If it is same means, it means that you received the information only from the, that is, you got the email only from the right person. You can ensure like this, okay, by using the digital signature. So when you're doing authentication like this means, you can ensure that you got the information only from the authentic, that is the right person, but you cannot ensure that someone might have modified your messages. Okay, you are not aware of that because you haven't sent your message in your secured manner by providing some secured key, something like this. Okay, which can be opened only by your receiver side. Okay, you haven't provided that technique in your this particular authentication services. So for that, you have to go for your second service provider, that is known as the confidentiality. I hope you follow. So in your authentication, you are providing only the digital signature. You are not providing any confidentiality. Confidentiality means your message is not in a secured manner. So you have to provide some security by locking your messages. That can be done by using the confidentiality. Okay, so this is the authentication general operations. Okay, so here the sender sends the messages. Okay, next one, let us consider source A is a sender and destination B is a receiver. Can you see this one? Once again. Okay, so first one, source side. Okay, so for this source side, I'm sending the messages. Okay, so here I'm sending the messages like this. So I'm going to provide the digital signature. So how will you provide the digital signature? Using the SHA or hash function. So H is nothing but your hash function. So you are taking the messages and you are going to provide some hash code. Then you are going to do a encryption. EP is nothing but encryption. And you are going to use a PR is nothing but your private key of A. So you are sending the info, that is in your source side, you are encrypting your information using the private key of A. Okay, so now you have encrypted. Okay, next what you have to do means you have to concatenate that messages, isn't it? So you are using this concatenation, and after that only you are giving it to the sender side. So when you are sending the information as it is means, what happens means it may take a long time to send the information because the size is too long. Therefore, what you have to do, you have to go for a compression. So for that, I'm using this compression technique. Result is nothing but here you are doing some compression. So after doing that compression, so at your receiver side, you have to decrypt. First one, you have to unzip your message, isn't it? So this is the message you got at your receiver side. So now it is the encrypted one. Okay, you cannot read that one. So first step, what you have to do, you have to unzip that one by using Z inverse. Okay, so that is the term used over here. This is for unzipping. So while you unzip this one, you will get your message as well as your encrypted form of your message. So now you have to do this decryption for this one. Okay, so like this, what you have to do, you are doing a decryption using the, that is your public key of your A. Okay, so you are going to decrypt over here and you are going to take the hash function. Okay, so this what you are going to do means you are going to compare both the things. Okay, so if already stored signature and that is your derived signature happens to be same means, then you can say that you got the mail only from your authorized person. Okay, so this is how you have to ensure that you got the information mail only from your authorized person. So this is, you ensure that authentication, but no, you cannot say that this is a that is a confidentiality is ensured over here. Okay, because you haven't provided any secret key in order to lock or unlock. Okay, so that you are going to see in your confidentiality. So let's see what happens in your confidentiality. So in the case of confidentiality, the sender sends the messages. After sending the messages, what you are going to do is you are going to provide your secret key or your session key. So the messages will be encrypted with your session key. So you will have a message with your secret key that will be given to your sender side. Now the same key which contains your which will be given to your destination side. So that will be opened only at your destination side. So now the receiver receives the messages and he will use the that is a secret key or session key. Now he will open the message and he can see the messages. Okay, so now it provides the confidentiality. But you see here you don't have any authentication is not provided. You are not doing any digital signature. Just you are providing only the confidentiality. But for your email security, you need both authentication as well as the confidentiality, isn't it? So next let us see the block diagram of this confidentiality. So this is the confidentiality. So first you are doing the message. So this part is nothing but your you are providing your secret key. KS is nothing but a session key or secret key. So all the terms are already discussed. Okay. So first you are getting the message and you are zipping that message. After that you are providing your secret key and you are doing the encryption. That encrypted message is given to you to the center side. Okay. So after that you are decrypting the message. After decrypting this one, you have to unzip this one. So here what happens, you are not providing any authentication. Authentication means digital signature have been provided over here, isn't it? So only you are providing only confidentiality. So in the case of email, you need both the things, confidentiality as well as the authentication. So therefore you have to PGP next operation is the providing confidentiality and authentication. See here in this block diagram, you can see that both the things are provided. Okay. So first one is this part, hash part is nothing but digital signature. You are providing your digital signature as well as the confidentiality. Confidentiality means you are providing a security key. Okay, so this is a digital signature you are providing. So authentication is provided over here, and here you are going to provide your confidentiality because you are going to use your secret key. Can you follow this one? So here you are going to provide your authentication as well as your confidentiality can be achieved over here. Similarly, in your receiver side, you have to process your decryption. So here in your sender side, you are doing encryption, and your receiver side, you are doing your decryption. And finally, you are comparing. If it is same means, then you can say that you got the information only from the authorized person. And if you can open your message using your secret key, then you can say that this messages are not opened by some other person. So this is the operations which are provided by your PGP. Okay. So next one is compression. So these are the, I already say that why you have to go for a compression. So if it is too long means it will take some time to do the decryption and encryption. In order to speed up your transmission of data, they are using this compression. It's services which is provided in your PGP. And next one is compactability. Already explained what is the use of this compactability. So compactability means it will be in the form of a binary data. Okay. So what happens in your mail, you need only the text data. So you have to convert your binary data into a text data like this using this Radix 64 algorithm. Okay. So next one is this is for your block diagram of your sender side. Please go through this one. Already I explained this. Okay. So next one is PGP overall operation. This is the flow of your PGP overall operations. Okay. What I have explained in your source and destination side. Okay. So let me say this one for 2 minutes. So first one, you are getting the messages. So X is nothing but your messages. Next, you are sending this message. So while sending this messages, if the signature is required, yes or no. If the signature is required means, then you have to provide the digital signature. If it is not required means, then you leave it. Okay. So next one, you have to go for a compression. So next, after doing this compression, if confidentiality required or not. Confidentiality required means you have to use your session key or secret key. So after providing that one, your message will be in your secured manner. So after that, finally, you have to convert that one into a Radix, your binary bit into a Radix form. Okay. So the Radix means it means that ASCII form, so which can be readable. Okay. So this is the thing you have to do it for your sender side, and this part is for your receiver side, which is the opposite that of your sender side. Okay. This is the overall summary of your PGP. So next, let us see the demo of your PGP. Okay, so I'm going to copy this one. So let's see what happens. PGP tool. Yes, listening, ma? Shall I start this demo? Yes, I need an answer from the students. Shall I start the demo? Can you follow the theory part? Theory part is okay? Please reply in chat. Yes. Only Niveda is listening. Huh? What about others? Students, are you listening? Yes. Okay, ma'am. So let me do the demo part. Please listen here. You can also try it. Okay. So first, I'm going to use the website iGolded.com. Okay. So using this PGP, iGolded.com PGP. Okay. Pretty good privacy. So use this website to see the demonstration of this PGP. Okay, so first one, what is the purpose of a PGP? To send your info, that is email in a secured manner from your sender to receiver, isn't it? So for that, you can use your mail. Okay, this is only for a simulation. Okay, so next one is you can use any mail ID. Okay, here if you want to give any password, okay, time being you can give any password. If you want, you can give password. Otherwise, no need to give any password. Okay, you leave as it is. Okay, if you type this password here, means at the time of a decryption, the same password you have to use. Okay, so you ensure that when you're typing a password over here, the same password is typed at the time of a decryption. Okay, so now I'm asking you to generate the keys. So what are the keys it should generate? Means it should generate two keys. One is the public key and private key. So public key is for your sender side and private key is for your receiver side. So I'm asking it to generate the keys. Okay, so my keys are generated over here. Okay, so what I'm going to do means I have to copy this key in my notepad. Okay, so I'm going to use the notepad. So here I'm going to copy this key. First one is your private key and second one is your public key. I'm going to copy this one. Okay, so two keys are copied. Next, I have to go for an encryption. So here you have an option, encrypt the message using PGP. Okay, so I'm going to click this one. So here, what I have to do at the time of your encryption, okay, I have to use the public key. Okay, so now I have to paste the public key or generated public key. So what is the public key which I have generated? Okay, so that public key I have to copy it over here. Okay, so here I'm going to paste the public key. Next one, I'm going to encrypt some message. Okay, let us consider I'm going to encrypt some message. Let us consider I'm using Jasmine Rani is my message and I'm asking it to encrypt the message. Now message is encrypted over here. Now I have to copy this encrypted message in my notepad. Okay. So I have copied this encrypted message. So encryption part is over. Using this PGP tool, I have encrypted my messages. So I have to do next part is I have to do the decryption, isn't it? So next I'm going to do the decryption. So first one, when I'm doing the decryption, I have to do the decryption using the private key, isn't it? So I have to take the private key. So where is my private key? So this is my private key. I have to copy the private key. So I'm going to paste it over here and here I have to type the password. Okay, if you want, you can type the password or otherwise you leave it. Okay, next one, you have to paste the encrypted messages which is generated in your encryption time. Okay, so now I have to generate the, I have to paste the PGP encrypted messages. Here I'm going to use the encrypted messages in order to decrypt it. Okay. Let's So here I'm getting the decrypted message like this, Jasmine Rani, which I used in your plain text. Okay. So one more thing, while copying your that is your private, that is your messages over here, you ensure that you deleted all your blank spaces. So after this, you have to do a deletion. Okay. Suppose if you have any spaces after this, means you will not get your that is your decrypted message. Okay, therefore you have to ensure that after this one you have to delete all your blank spaces. Can you follow this one? So this is a tool which is used to securely transmit your data from source to destination in your email. Okay, you can try this one and please you go through this part. Yes, is it okay? Have you all listened to this one, PGP? Any doubt in this? Students, can you follow? Students, are you there? Yes. What about others? So, Yuvrishri, what about others? Are you listening?